Hey guys, welcome back to Senegalese Twisted. Today I'm back again with another review of Maîtresse de nom MARIÉ. And today we're going to talk about episode 2 of the 3rd season. So Mommy and Jalika are at the poolside and they're talking. Jalika is telling Mommy that, you know what, pregnancy looks good on you and you look so good, you look cute, you're living your best life. And at one point Jalika asks Mommy, like, did you hear from Siaka? How is he? And Mommy tells her that, you know, Siaka, he has called me so many times. He even asked me to marry him. And she just tells Jalika that, you know what, I rejected him and I'm good. And then the conversation shifts because then it's Mommy's turn to ask Jalika some questions. And what Mommy is trying to point out is that since Jalika got married to Taihu, she did not see, hear, or, you know, get a glimpse of Tairu. And for her it's like worrisome because she's just saying that, you know what, we should actually you should actually organize a get-together so we can see him and talk to him. And Jalika really gets defensive because she's talking about, no, the divorce is so hard and the other woman, Dalanda, is trying to ruin me and she's doing everything in her power to, you know, give me a bad name or something. And yeah, so Mommy's still worried because at one point she's like, did you marry him, Takasu? Jalika is telling her that, you know, do you think Dalanda is better than me for me to accept a Takasu? There's only one person in my husband's heart and he only has place for one person and that's me. And that's how the scene actually goes. Jalika is very defensive and Mommy is just trying to open her up. And she's actually worried because she hasn't spoken a lot about her marriage and she's worried about that. She expresses that. She even says that, you know what, Jalika, I'm not here to judge you. I just know that you have been through so much and I do want you to know that I'm here for you and that I'm not here to judge you. At the same time, Dalanda is out at the restaurant and Taihu is there and he just grabs her hand and is like, you know what, Dalanda, I'm so sorry for everything that I put you through, but I want you to know you're the only one for me and I only love you. Then there's a short scene where you see Maitresse, also known as Rocky's mom, giving some food to some kids, and then she just starts praying in the wild. And she's just asking for Rocky to come back, that she will not be mad at her if she returns to her, that she will not go to prison. Speaking of the devil, we are being brought back to Rocky and Mustafa. And you actually see Rocky washing the clothes by hand. And she's actually visibly pregnant. But there's just this rude woman that just drops the clothing and is like, wash this for me too. And I'm like, so rude, but oh so true. People can see you like about to pop a baby and they will put even more work on your plates. Why? Then another woman comes and she's like, you know what, just go, I'll finish it. And apparently Rocky has been bleeding and the woman gives her some clothing to cover up the bleeding and tells her to take care of herself, to not be scared, and to not worry about, you know, the laundry because she will finish it, and for her to take a shower and that she will talk to her husband Mustafa to take her to the doctors but to not be scared. Then we are back to the divorce drama because you see that Lala is on a talk show talking about divorce and husbands and reasons as to why one should get a divorce. And you can see that Sheikh is actually watching it, but apparently he's at Lala's place and he's waiting for her because she has been in the shower. She comes out and they fight. And this fight is a whole mess because Cher is pointing out to Lala that, you know what, you should have told the real reason why you got a divorce and not just, you know, make something up. And they just fight, and it's just a lot of back and forth. But in this scene, you can see that Lala is really like changed, because she doesn't take ish from Cher. She doesn't even give him anything, because at one point Cher is like, I'm here to get my kids and I want my kids. You did not make these babies alone. Lala's like, you know what, sis, you are bothering me so much. You are not getting any of these children. You're not getting baby Makodu and not baby Noura. You can just leave. I'm like, I was just so shocked, because Lala used to be like some aljana. She was at the point to tell Cher like, let me chew the food for you so you don't have to chew it yourself. Bagay actually has the guts to ask MARIÉ where her friend is. And I'm like, what? That's so rude. And she's like, well, I've called and I've called and I've called, but she's not picking up. And this can be a lie. However, just as they're talking about it, she just walks in. She just waltzes right in. And apparently she's hungry. And Bagay apparently did not want to eat. And MARIÉ is telling her friend, like, Aminatafal, I told my husband to eat, but he doesn't want to eat. So as soon as the woman tells them that she's hungry, Bagay's like, well, now I'm hungry too. I can't. Then we get spinned yet into another drama, because Jalika and her mom. So Jalika's mom asks Jalika like, okay, so will you be sleeping here and eating here tonight? Because I want to know, so I know how much food I can take out of the fridge and prepare. And also just a little small hint to know if your male friend will be joining us. So she's actually just saying that. And Angelica's like, since when are you worried about whether I sleep here or eat here? Just do whatever you need for you and the kids, and just do that and just be done, you know. She was more like, don't be in my business, don't ask me for nothing, just do whatever you need to do. And Angelica's mom is just like still going on about her takasuf with Tairu, and they start fighting about it. Angelica's mom is more she just told Jalika that, you know what, no matter what you're doing, I will always give you my opinion about it. So I cannot just let you do whatever you want because it's your life, because that's what Jalika is telling her mom. I've already told you I did the takasuf. Just watch me. If I fail, I'll fail. And if not, then not. But just watch me. Just leave me alone. Get off my back. And then at the end, she gets slapped because she said something rude to her mom. Then we are back at the first lady Ndoi, Dalanda and Tairu. They're at home. The twins are there with a friend, and Tairu is cooking. So his phone has been ringing and ringing and ringing because Jalika has been calling and calling and calling. And Dalanda comes in with the phone and she's like, you know what? Your phone has been ringing. I'm gonna pick it up. And he's like, no, don't. And he just takes the phone and she's like, ooh, you're acting weird. What's up? What you're doing? And of course, Tairu is like a master manipulator, a gaslighter, because he's like, Dalanda, why do you have to ruin the mood? And I'm like, sis, why do you have to change the subject? Because you are guilty. And it's just so problematic, because at one point he's even telling her that, you know what, if you're gonna pick up and it's not who you think it is, then you will be ashamed. And I'm like, no, it can just be that this call is the person that you're not having a relationship with, but maybe the next call can be the person you are cheating on me with. And I just think it's so outrageous that Dalanda accepts this. Dalanda just tells Tairu, you know what, it's okay, I don't have to pick it up. You do whatever you want to do. And then he's like, why do you have to ruin the mood? And I'm like, why do you have to be a gaslighter so much? So eventually the call was Jalika, and she was asking him, you know, are we still on for tonight? Are you gonna pick me up or should I come to you? Are the kids going to be there? If they are, I can also stay at my mom's. And afterwards you see that Taeho is actually switching his phone to flight mode, meaning no more calls and he cannot be caught slipping. And that's not it, because later we see a scene where you can see that Dalanda is looking for something in the house, and Taeho actually remarks this and he's like, what are you looking for? And she's like, I don't get it. Why do you want to keep this house so much? And apparently she has her house. He has his house that he was going to inaugurate with Jalika, and he's just telling her that he needs this house because it's good, because the kids can come here during the weekend. Also, he needs some space for his work. But I'm like, aren't you a doctor? Aren't you working at the hospital? 1 + 1 makes 2, right? Not 5. Dalanda is still adamant that something is wrong and she is looking for something, anything. Taeho's response to that is that, you know what? I've been killing myself to prove to you that I'm clean. And you're still looking for something. And she's like, I'm like this because you opened that door. And at that same time, like, the twins are talking to their dad and asking him if they can sleep over. And he's like, you know, I would love for you guys to sleep over, but you have to ask your mom. But their mom is like, no, you can't. And she tells Taeho, stop making me their enemy and blame this all on me, because that's what he always does. And it's actually really toxic, because I think that his proper response could have been, should have been that, you know what, your mom and I haven't talked about that. Let us talk about it and then we'll come back at that question. He always has to be the good guy in front of his kids. However, he's actually the bad guy. And Dalanda tells him they just don't realize, or they cannot even imagine, that you're actually getting rid of them. And she's so on point with that, because after that scene, when Dalanda goes around the corner, he just calls Jalika and tells her that she can come over and that they can have their time together. And I'm like, so problematic. But do you guys see, like, all the red flags that Taeho's putting out there? That's why these kids love their dad so much, because he's the good guy and she isn't. Then there's a scene with Mustafa and Raki, and Raki is just expressing how much pain she has and how much she wants to go to the doctor. And Mustafa doesn't take this well. He's saying stuff like, yeah, do you know how many people or how many women have given birth without a doctor? And I'm like, I don't know. Raki's like, well, if you don't want to bring me, I'll bring myself. I'll turn myself in, and whatever happens, I'll tell them that I'm the person who killed Bakari Sanya. I'll turn myself in. I'll go to prison. It's all good. So Mustafa is just like bluffing, and he's like, you know what, let's go. And she's like standing up, and he's like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm ready. I was ready. So I think that she wants to turn herself in, but I don't think they'll do it. However, plot twist, the woman is outside and she hears, of course she hears everything, although they are whispering. Lala is again in a battle with Philly. And what's so remarkable about this is that in the last episode, Lala's friend warned Lala and told her that I would not be surprised if at the end Sheikh would end up with Philly. In this battle, in this scene, they actually Lala actually brings it up. But of course, Philly is the pettiest, the childish, you know, and she's like, you know what, if that's what you're afraid of, then that's what's gonna happen. And I think that Lala actually a lot more oil to the fire, because now she put this idea in Philly's head, because Philly has been on a date with that man, and I don't think that Philly would ever actually want anything to do with Cher because it's just plain nasty. Other than that, now that she knows how to get under Lala's skin, of course, she's gonna try it. And that's also what she said. You know what? If that's what you think, will never happen, because Lala told her that, you know what, Cher would never go with someone like you or be with you. And Philly was like, you know what, let's see. So that was the review of Maîtresse de Homme Marié, of the second episode, and I'm so curious about what's going to happen next. But I'm also so afraid because I know a lot of hearts are going to be broken. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I see you guys in my next video.